And starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for staying up with us tonight. Mississippi lawmakers are planning to return to the Capitol on Thursday. The legislature wants to find a way to get relief to small businesses. That's also what Governor Reeves says his priority for the federal CARES Act money is. But as Courtney Ann Jackson explains, that's where the agreement ends.
Nobody is backing down from their position on spending authority of the $1.25 billion in CARES Act money.
It is my opinion that if the legislature goes in a different route, it is my opinion that not just $1 or $100 or $100 million are going to be at risk. My view is that the entire $1.25 billion may be at risk.
Nowhere in that statute does it say that the governor gets to spend those funds.
The lawmakers seem to be proceeding with plans to divvy up the money, saying Thursday's focus will be on small business relief. The governor read a message from his phone to wrap up Tuesday's briefing that sums up his position that he's now saying has backing from officials in D.C.
From the head of the Intergovernmental Affairs at the White House, it says, and I quote, "I have consulted with the U.S. Department of Treasury, and based on their interpretation, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Acts, also known as CARES Act, Coronavirus Relief Fund for state governments, is intended to be administered by the governor of each state."
The legislature voted to put $100 million into an account for the governor to allocate for emergency expenses. Reeves says that doesn't provide the needed flexibility and would complicate following the ever-changing guidelines from the Department of Treasury. The letter the speaker sent to the governor Monday argues that he is sensationalizing the issue. Gunn writing, "In your comments Friday, you portrayed legislators as thieves and killers. You said we, quote, stole the money and people would die. Such cheap theatrics and false personal insults were beneath the dignity of your office. They were out of character for you personally." Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
The governor has not taken action on the bill approved by the legislature Friday. Here in Columbus, the city extends its curfew another 5 days. City councilmen made that call at tonight's meeting. The city continues to be under curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Chief Fred Shelton says officers have been pretty relaxed when it comes to issuing tickets for people past curfew, but he says that will no longer be the case. The uptick in numbers is causing concern, and the chief says unless you're out for essential business after 10 p.m., be prepared to get a ticket.
We enjoyed another great evening around here. Check it out, our time lapse from Vernon at Durham's Pharmacy. Those clouds going away, and then we had some higher clouds drift on in this evening, giving a little extra pop to the sunset. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous out there this evening. Hopefully you took advantage of it. We will have several more nice days. We do have some clouds in the region, but more clearing than anything else, and a nearly full moon shining overhead tonight, but technically not full. Again, some clouds, but other spots clear. We are in the 60s. The wind has lightened up a little bit. Partly cloudy tonight, low 50s. And for our day tomorrow, how about some low 70s in the south, some 60s in the north, a fair amount of sunshine, some clouds, and some breezes. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
New at 10 today is the celebration of the Mexican holiday, Cinco de Mayo. It's a tradition that usually means packed houses at area Mexican restaurants, but that's not the case this year. Closed dining rooms have put a damper on festivities and restaurant profits. Our Stephanie Poole has more.
On Cinco de Mayo, this room at No Way Jose is usually full and loud. Now it's silent. Waitress Kimberly Daw says since the restaurant can't invite the public in, their business is out over 50% in lost revenue.
It went down tremendously last year. At this time, this parking lot was full to the other side full, and this year you can count the cars on one hand.
To help keep the doors open, the restaurant is running daily to-go specials.
We did like family meals and stuff like that, where you could get more for a little less, and that really helps out, I feel like.
It's the same reality for General Manager Alex Chavez at Costa Bravo Mexican Restaurant in Starkville. He says solely relying on curbside orders for Cinco de Mayo has caused a big hit to his bottom line.
It actually did hurt a lot of revenue because that's actually our biggest event of the year. That's the day we do our most sales every year from that day.
But with Governor Tate Reeves' new order to reopen restaurants, Chavez and Doss are hoping this will give them a chance to start bouncing back.
I talked with the owners. We're still looking to see what we'll do because even though we could open 50% capacity, with it also being six feet apart per table, we do lose more than 50% since our sections are a bit smaller, and it's harder to tell right now with most of our staff being gone also.
Just get in here, we'll get the vibe back, and we can do back work, just get our normal lives back, would be the main thing to do.
Reporting in Oktibbeha County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
Both restaurants say they'll continue to have offer daily specials in order to help keep their businesses afloat. In Mississippi, restaurants will be able to welcome guests in their dining rooms again this Thursday, but problems at processing plants across the country may be limiting their menus. A meat shortage could have one fast food chain reviving its 1980s slogan, "Where's the beef?" CBS's Dean Reynolds has more.
Try ordering your favorite Wendy's burger this week and you may be disappointed. Some of our menu items may be temporarily limited, the company acknowledged today. At one drive-through window, you could get an apology but no triple cheeseburger. McDonald's, too, has begun parceling meat, while food stores, Costco, Kroger's, and others are limiting meat sales to 3 items to avoid panic buying. All of it tied to the slowdown at processing plants where several thousand workers have gotten sick. This Smithfield plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which had more than 800 cases of COVID-19, is reopening now and workers are being tested. But at the same time, other plants are closing, even as an executive order required them to stay open. COVID-19 outbreaks were confirmed today at 4 facilities in Iowa. This is the ripple effect.
As you can see, all the shelves are empty.
Danny Rodriguez restaurant serves tacos, but his supplier has little to fill them with.
Every shelf, empty, 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 and prices going up, and there is no supply.
Tyson Foods says pork production is down 50%, while analysts say wholesale prices are up around 40%. What will that mean for the grocery shopper?
Is early in May, consumers are going to see higher prices.
Glenn Tonsor is a professor of agricultural economics at Kansas State.
I will not be surprised if during the month of May we have something around a 20% increase in meat prices in your grocery stores.
And as a sign of the times, the Impossible Foods Company announced today that its Impossible Burger, which is made with plants, will be available in 2,700 grocery stores nationwide starting this week. And it said it's ready to meet a growing demand. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Evanston, Illinois.
Columbus police release information after a car crashes into a Southside apartment about midnight. This morning, a boarded up wall showed the scars of the accident. Police Chief Fred Shelton says an officer heard someone squealing tires and driving recklessly. By the time the officer arrived, Shelton says the car was inside the building at 15th Avenue South, but there was no driver. Investigators are interviewing a suspect, but no charges have been filed. No one was injured. At least 4 people were reportedly inside the apartment at the time of the crash. 3 men are charged after an armed robbery at an Oxford motel over the weekend. Germany drummer Giovanni Kelly and Jatori Moore are charged with armed robbery and conspiracy to commit armed robbery. Oxford police say the incident happened Saturday night at Quality Inn on Jackson Avenue. The suspects allegedly robbed the motel clerk at gunpoint and stole cash from the register. Bond is set at $150,000. All right, Keith, another beautiful day and some spring-like air, chilly air, fall-like
Early
air.
spring, fall. Let's call it fall.
Fall?
It feels like fall.
Yeah.
And some of these nights that are coming up here. Thursday morning, 43 degrees. We're not done with these chilly nights yet. Saturday morning, low 40s, close to some old records, and we may set some new records. Sunday morning, around 40. Can't rule out a few upper 30s. Your full forecast is next.
Weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Our first alert forecast this evening presents Tiny. Here's Tiny. Check out Tiny. We're looking at some tiny numbers tomorrow temperature-wise compared to May. 70 degrees, that's it. Some of you stay in the 60s. 73 Thursday, 68 there, those 60s on Friday with a chance for some rain and thunder. Now, a lot of you ask, how can I submit a picture to the Forecast? Just go to our website, WCBI.com. You will see that. If you find the part of the weather section there, and you can just submit your picture to the gallery, and we will just randomly select some furry friends each and every night here Monday through Friday. Also on sunrise and midday as well. Our time lapses from today: Louisville, Mississippi, Vernon, Tupelo, and Columbus. Absolutely gorgeous this evening. Earlier today, it was a bit overcast. We had some showers around, but nothing too traumatic for us. Bigger storms down here in Louisiana tonight, and also over here in the Carolinas, but we are sandwiched in between with all quiet weather. Low 50s for lows tonight. The wind is fairly light. And tomorrow morning, we should wake up to a lot of sunshine. The wind will start to pick on up, and during the daytime heating, especially in the northeastern areas, we will likely see some clouds form, and these will drift on through. That can limit heating and keep temperatures only in the lower 60s in some spots, but we'll thin those clouds out during the course of the afternoon and early evening. So speaking of those cooler temperatures, Corinth, Iuka, Boonville, low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, 69 in Tupelo, winds from the northwest 10 to 20 with some higher gusts. 67 in Hamilton, Alabama, 70 in Vernon, 72 in Aliceville. So notice the farther south you live, the warmer it is likely going to be. Right around 70 along the US 82 corridor, farther south towards Philadelphia at 74. But overall, a pretty nice day. Cloudy, 61 in Nashville tomorrow. Farther south and southwest, we're looking at 80s closer to the coast, the Big Easy, 82. Just one chance of rain here. That is coming up on Friday. Other than that, we're looking at goose eggs across the board as far as rainfall chances. A ½ inch to maybe an inch or an inch and a half here on Friday. Showers and storms likely. No strong or severe weather expected at this time. Tomorrow, you can see some of those clouds pinwheeling back on in here from the northeast. High pressure still in control. A mix of sun and clouds Thursday. We are watching this system developing back to our west Thursday. That will get a little bit better organized, and notice how the showers and thunder showers will break out here on Friday. It will be a cooler day for us. Temperatures in the 60s. That front will move on through, and that will mean some great weather for the weekend. Let's check it out. Your AccuWeather 70 forecast. Around 70 tomorrow. Some spots are cooler. 73 Thursday, 68 Friday. Only 66 Saturday. 72 Sunday. A lot of sunshine there this weekend, well below average. Low to mid 70s, more sun next week.
All right, thanks, Keith. What an image there. Well, if you've been spending more time on social media during the extended stay at home, well, you've probably seen posts about the murder hornet. The Asian giant hornet comes from various parts of Asia and is known for wiping out colonies of honeybees. A few of them have been identified in Washington state. Mississippi State entomologist Joe McGowan says the murder hornet is the largest hornet in the world. He says because of their preferred habitat, they are unlikely to adapt well in America.
It certainly would be a big issue. I don't see them being in our area for maybe a long time, and maybe ever. You know, it seems to be warming the trend. You know, I don't know that they would really adapt well here. But if they did, wherever they are, it will be a problem, another problem for beekeepers, and they face many, obviously.
Well, that's fairly positive news. I guess they won't be around this area for long anyway. McGowan says the number of deaths from hornets in Asia is similar to the number of deaths related to honeybees or fire ants in America. More recreation options will soon be opening up. We check in with one town that thinks it's just a walk in the park when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Parks across the state are set to reopen this week. Many will follow social distancing guidelines and state-mandated sanitation requirements, but regulating those orders is easier said than done. Many cities are taking their time deciding how to follow the governor's orders. But as our Cash Matlock finds, others already have their parks open.
In September of 2019, Ackerman unveiled a brand new recreational area dedicated to former Mississippi governors J.P. Coleman and Ray Mabus, both Ackerman natives. For the past few weeks, the park has been closed, and recently the Ackerman Police Department announced on their Facebook page that the park is now open, along with Glasgow Park.
It's time for Mississippi to go back to work. It's time for Ackerman to go back to work and to not be afraid of a virus.
Mayor Tim Cutts says he'd be more concerned if he lived in a higher populated area.
We're not New York City. We're not in a petri dish of the subway. It's time for us to go to work. And what we've decided to do is open our parks, bring our people back, and go to work. And that's what we do in Ackerman. We're not afraid of things. Come to Ackerman. You're going to like what you see.
Cutts says enforcing social distancing at parks will be a challenge.
We're not overly addressing that issue unless you're just hooked up on somebody. You know what I'm talking about?
Instead, the city will be focusing on sanitization.
Wiping down things, making sure things are sanitary. But you know, the good Lord pops that sun out, and that virus can't, if it doesn't have a host, it can't live. So, yeah, but we are sanitizing things.
The city even plans to open up recreational events like the Dizzy Dean Baseball League for the summer.
And they're going to try to push that season, is what I'm hearing, if they can, to June and July. So we want everybody to know that Ackerman's open for business. Come on and bring your young'uns.
Cutts says during this time, people need to get outside more.
Go to the park. Enjoy yourself. Stay away from other people, but throw the ball to your kid and have a ball.
Most other cities in our area have not announced their plans yet. Toyota Mississippi will start production at its Blue Springs plant after a 7-week shutdown. The car manufacturer has been taking extra steps to make sure workers are safe when they return on Monday. Team members will have their temperatures taken as they enter the plant. There are plexiglass partitions in offices and break rooms and hand sanitizing stations throughout the building. The plant is enforcing CDC guidelines on social distancing, and team members will get masks.
We're very, very excited to get back to work. Very excited to see all the team members come back and to begin producing the #1 vehicle in the world, the Corolla.
We've always appreciated what Toyota has done for the community and for the employees and all, and we expected nothing less of them here, but they've really knocked it out of the park with what they've done here.
The automaker will also provide physical conditioning for team members who have not been on the assembly line since the plant was shut down in March. Tupelo football has found its man to lead the football program, the latest on the high school football coaching carousel. Next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Houston football experienced some of the most successful seasons under head coach Ty Harden. Harden is now on the move, hoping to bring that success to Tupelo. The Tupelo School Board names Harden the head football coach of the Golden Wave. Harden led the Hilltoppers for 4 seasons with a record of 38-14, leading to the playoffs in each season. The newest head coach of the Golden Wave says he's excited for the new opportunity and is thankful for his time in Houston.
I can say I've left this place better than I found it. And what's been great about it is everybody's reached out to me in support of it, understanding, and excited about what's about to happen in Tupelo, Mississippi. You can ask those people in Houston right now of the impact of what Houston football has had on the community. Definitely going to miss the relationships and the people here, but also too, there's some kids in Tupelo, there's some young men in Tupelo that need somebody right now, and that's what I'm excited to get towards.
The big day for Tupelo continues. Jason Miller has been hired as the newest activities director. Miller is a Tupelo alumnus and spent the past 6 years at DeSoto Central. In more high school football news, East Union hires New Albany athletic director Todd Lott to become its next head coach. Lott replaces Kevin Walton, who joined East Webster's coaching staff. Lott has been a head coach for a total of 17 years, including Madison St. Joe's and Mississippi Delta Community College. After losing 4 out of 5 starters, Mississippi State has begun to fill some of the holes in the roster. Jackson native Keandre Montgomery, a 4-star forward, officially commits to play for Ben Howland next season. In his senior season, Montgomery averaged 28 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Montgomery picks the Bulldogs over Auburn, Clemson, Ole Miss, and Murray State.
When I first started playing, I didn't know I was going to have a full scholarship. I didn't know I was going to be who I am today. God, man, he showed me things and he made it happen. My time to contribute right away. You know what I'm saying? What I bring, my teamwork, my hard work, my dedication, all I put in the game, I feel like they're going to get the best out of me.
That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stay with us.
We have waited a long time for a 7-day forecast to look this nice, considering how wet and stormy it has been for this entire year. Just one blemish there on the 7-day forecast, a chance for some rain and some thunder there on Friday. Pretty nice for your Wednesday, Thursday, below average for just about every day on that 7-day forecast, even cool at night, Joey. So a little taste of early spring or fall.
Yes, for sure. And our gardens could use that rain, so that's all right. All right. Thank you, Keith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.